Hi, my name is Kristen Raza. Welcome to another episode of To You, where we bring the latest EG Tech Dev transformation news to you. Last week, I had the opportunity to sit down with Bill Hogue, President of Technology Development. In our conversation, we discussed Bill's vision for the DirecTV integration in light of recent organizational announcements. This is a conversation not to be missed. It is a little longer than most of our To You episodes, but I think well worth your time. Whether you feel the integration effort is directly impacting you or not, you'll want to hear what Bill has to say. I'll be back at the end of the interview to let you know where the transformation goes from here. Thanks. Bill, thanks for joining us today to talk about what's going on with EG Tech Dev and the integration of DirecTV into Tech Dev. I really appreciate the time.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah. So let's start off with just talking about kind of where everybody's at relative to the integration. What I saw was really two distinct camps that have formed within our organization. The first one, let's call them assimilate and then evolve together. They really believe that, hey, the best practice talk is great, but in reality, T is going to trump, just get on board and let's move forward together. Mm-hmm. Let's call our second camp evolve through integration or as a result of integration. And that camp really believes that they've been empowered and have been requested to bring forward best practices so that they can influence not just EG Tech Dev, but all of Tech Dev. So what's your point of view on this? How do you want to see integration of DirecTV into Tech Dev happen? What's your vision and strategy?
So my point of view is I want both teams to bring best practices to the table. Okay. And I'd like them to evaluate those best practices through the lens of the overall tech dev. So I want them sitting in my chair and looking at those best practices on a whole bunch of different dimensions, on the benefits that it brings to the company, whether it be new systems or processes, the cost to implement them, the complexity, are they scalable, just as some examples.
So in light of the recent org announcements that have happened, your vision for this integration, does it change at all? Is there a different perspective that we should look at this?
No, I don't think the vision has changed. I mean, I think how we go and face off to our clients is changing. Mm-hmm. And with the changes in entertainment group and mobility coming together, we have to line up so that our clients can interface with us in a similar fashion. Mm-hmm. And that's what the org change was all about, really to get us aligned with the rest of the business so that we're better able to serve them.
So when the DirecTV acquisition occurred, T was already on an evolutionary process towards the Vision 2020 space in terms of skills pivot, culture, workplace. How do you see the DirecTV acquisition and integrating those capabilities that came with that video business to enable, if at all, the further evolution or speed up of that process towards that 2020 vision?
I think it's really good news for Tech Dev, actually, because a lot of the skills that the legacy video teams bring to the table are skills of the future. Yeah. So the fact that we're bringing together a set of teams that already have a lot of those skills, it actually helps us make the pivot faster. Yep. And that's a big plus for an organization of our size. And then when you think about it, there are a lot of roles that the legacy video team brought to the table that we need to add to our roles of the future.
So for my last question, Bill, which is actually two questions in one, I'm going to cheat a little bit here, but what is your greatest fear and your greatest hope as it relates to the integration of DirecTV into Tech Dev and AT&T?
I think we've been talking about it today, and that's that our teams don't come together, that we're unsuccessful operating as one team, that we continually pull against each other, and that we don't get to one effective and high-performing team. My greatest hope is that we're able to come out the other side of a really complex integration, stronger, more equipped to be able to compete in the marketplace, and really as one team.
Excellent. Thank you so much for spending the time with us today. I know everybody in EG Tech Dev will appreciate your words of wisdom and direction for us.
Thanks. I appreciate you having me.